One of the most common qualitative or alternative data that is popular with stocks and trading is news sentiment. And with the creation of AI and natural language processing, there's been an increase in demand for the news sentiment around certain stocks that might signal whether a price will go up or down based on the sentiment surrounding it at the time. And a really useful and free place to get news sentiment is through Alpha Vantage's API. And I've already got a API key from them. It's free. You just go to alphavantage.com/API and they'll be able to get you one. And you can request it. It's super easy. Google Colab also has a place where you can put your keys and you can just call it using the userdata.get, and I've named it Alpha V. Other than that, you'll just need pandas and NumPy, and you'll also need requests to get the blob. We're going to be looking at Chevron. The URL is alphavantage.co/query function equals news sentiment. Your tickers are going to equal the symbol that you're interested in, and you just also need to put in your API key. Use requests, news data will return a JSON. It'll look like this. So it'll look like a ton, it'll give you a ton of information actually. It's like a huge JSON, right? But the thing that we're actually like, look at all this. This is a ton of news, which is great, right? So it's got 50 items. It's got a score definition, which is nice. So anything that's negative 3.5 or less is bearish. Anything in between that and 15 is neutral. Anything greater than 15 and is somewhat bullish, and greater than that is bullish. So there's bearish, somewhat bearish, I'm guessing neutral, somewhat bullish, and bullish. Great. It gives you a relevance score. The higher the relevance, the higher the relevance, right? So pretty simple there. Feed market whales and their recent bets on Chevron options, right? And then it gives you the time published, which is interesting. It gives you the authors, gives you the summary, a banner image, all sorts of stuff. But the real thing, it gives you topics, interesting, nice. Overall sentiment label, and the ticker sentiment. So the ticker is Chevron here. Relevant score is 0.7, so that's relevant. Gives you the SIC and the label. Cool. But also contained in this article are other tickers like WFC, BCS. And so if you're interested in ticker sentiment, you might not be interested in WFC or BCS. And so you'll need to create a function that loops through all this data and grabs only this ticker. And you'll need to go through all 50 different items because one thing here is like there's Chevron there, but there's Deviant, HES, here's Exxon. So you might also be interested in that if you were interested in ExxonMobil. But what I've done is I've created just a bunch of for loops, and this is not probably the best way to go about doing it, but you're going to just look at the feed. You're going to go through and append okay, so let's just like walk through this. So in news data, you'll want to go to feed. What does feed look like? It's just, we're just looking at basically just the all 50 images or all 50 different items, right? And then so let's clear this. And then from there, you'll want to append ticker sentiment. So for in there, we'll want ticker sentiment. So we'll need sentiment scores append data dot ticker sentiment. Maybe we. Wait. Oh, we're looping through. Gotcha. So let's just look at the first one. There we go. So the first one, now we have down to the blob where we have the information that we're interested in. But we only want to take the first one here, so we need to create another one that just grabs this information. So we've put it into a list, and then we'll go through there and just grab this data, and then we'll append it to our ticker scores up here. Great. So, first we need to do that, and then we're going to loop through our ticker news. So when we perform it on all 50 of them, let's just look at ticker scores. And so now we have a blob of all of the items. So we have a mixture of different tickers along with the tickers that we're actually interested in and the scores. So now what we're going to do is loop through it, look for our symbol, and if it's true, we'll attach it to our ticker news. So let's take a look at our ticker news. Now we've got a blob of only the CVX, which is good. That's what we want. Here are the selected outputs there. I like to put everything into a data frame. So let's just go ahead and take news df. Bada bing, bada boom. So now we have the relevance score, the ticker sentiment score, and the label associated with that. Perfect. Now we want to create a pie chart to show the percentages or the, I guess, the counts of these different scores and whether or not they're somewhat bullish or bullish, right? So there's a few ways you can plot this. I like donut charts because, as you'll see, it's just really easy for me to determine. Wow, this is really big. What if I just got rid of this part here? Cool. This is a lot easier to see. So I like this because I'm not super interested in each individual line item score necessarily, and I'm assuming that the relevance is relevant enough. You could go through here and only grab the things that are like, you could set a threshold of relevance here. Like this one's 0.4, maybe you're only interested in anything over 0.5, for example. But since you're only getting 50, I might as well just include it all. And this gives me just a general overview visual of the data that we have. So I can see here that there is no bearish sentiment with Chevron in the time period that I grabbed. That's another optimization that we could do here is set dates. Considering that it does put a publishing date, that's good to have. I don't think you can literally query like historical, but it might be interested in going in and just grabbing it like new dates every day, or like if you wanted to store a back catalog of sentiment data, that would be interesting too. But in any case, you can see that it's mostly somewhat bullish and a lot of neutral in those different news articles. So this is another way you can get new sentiment data to include with your trading strategies. One thing I forgot to mention was a link to where you can support me. Maybe I'll just include it now, and I'll just say there we go. If you go to this link here, you can put in a one-time donation if you feel so inclined. If you like these videos, it's probably the best way to support me, and I don't have to sell a course or take sponsors or create a Patreon, etc. And yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Let me know in the comments if this is useful. And until then, I'll see you in other videos. Bye.